Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope you guys are safe and sound. Well, we have come to the last session or the last phase of the process to create the Mandala of Confidence. Um, for those who are watching this series of videos for the first time, we have gone already through two different steps. The first one was about sketching this mandala just with pencil, and then the second step was coloring. We just color pins, regular pencils, color pencils. Now we're gonna make fine lines and all these details to complete our mandala. And what are we going to need is just this paper. So there's in the description of this video, there's a link to download this document as a PDF. And then in the next video, you will see how I practice on it, some traces with my hand before we actually go and work on the Mandala of Confidence. First of all, I want to thank you. If you are in the front line, you're a doctor, nurses, or you're working in pharmacies, and all these grocery stores, supermarkets, or you work in companies that are making sure the population gets basic needs needed. Thank you very much for all the efforts. If you're at home in the local town, taking care of yourself and the family, thank you very much. And also, if you're sick, let's vibrate together, let's have confidence, create the Mandala of Confidence, and let's have this nice vibration that everything's gonna be fine. When we return, it's not gonna be the same, but we have to come back as better human beings with lots of peace and lots of learned lessons. And I just want to thank you one more time for letting me be part of your creative process while working on the Mandala of Confidence. Thank you very much in advance, and I hope you enjoyed the last part of this process. So before we start making fine lines, I just want to walk you through different options we have in the market. This is a very famous, it's a little bit expensive, of course, but to make fine lines, this is amazing, okay? Very nice to work with. Then we have this Stadler that is very good as well. Then we have the regular colors that we can use. We have Stabilo, which is good too. A Sharpie is amazing. A regular just pen. And then we have different brands of these markers that, you know, Crayola, Faber-Castell, that are good too. This belongs here in this group. And then we have Posca, that is acrylic. When we're going to make details on a mandala, what do we have to think of? And that totally depends on the taste of the person. If you want to make a fine line in black, everything black, or for example like this that has different colors, sea green, purple, blue, you have to decide, and that's totally up to you. In this work we're going to do, I think we're gonna be working more in black, but you know, you can decide and you can do the fine line according to your feeling. Another thing that we need to consider when we're going to choose the marker is that we painted this with colors, regular pencil, color pencils. And for example, there are some markers like these that have such a fine line that can, when you're painting, doing the line might get a little bit of the color pencil and then not perform very well. So what about making a quick test to start deciding which ones we are going to use? So I'm just grabbing here, painting here, putting pressure, and then going to a very light option in 2 different colors, just to have a look, to understand which of these markers perform better under these pencils of colors. For example, if I was going to use the micron, what I see is that, and that has happened to me, depending on the color, it might not perform very well. This is excellent when you're working with aquarelle, watercolor, or with regular markers, but with color pencils, I am not like very fond of the results. Then this brand, Stadler, I think is strong. We could use this. If you use a regular Crayola or Faber-Castell, the only point is that if you're doing figures or shapes like this or some patterns, inside, see, for example, in the part that we painted strongly, it could not perform very well. It could perform well on the edges of the mandala. Then we have Stabilo, that I think it's also, as Stadler, is very good. We have Sharpie. I think Sharpie is amazing, but of course for stronger lines, thicker lines. Regular pen, it depends. We would have to check, see, for example, in the parts that we painted stronger with a pencil, it might not perform as well as in the parts that we painted in a lighter way. Then I think these regular markers are good, would be good. And Posca, I think is excellent. I think this is an old pen, that's why maybe the ink isn't coming, but also acrylics are excellent, see? But this is just to let you know that this exists. I think I'm not going to be using micron in this opportunity. I might use Stadler, Stabilo, a little bit of the pencil, Sharpie definitely. Yeah, we're gonna be working on that. So let's go to the practice, and then we actually do the fine lines in the mandala. So let's practice on these practice sheets. Remember, you can download them and print them from the link in the description. You can maybe print a couple. And the idea is just to have a simple practice before we actually work on the mandala. So I think we better start with this page. The idea is to fill all the markers we have. Now it's not a marker, it's gonna be the color pencil, it's black. Let's make like a stick and a little circle. And this is simulating like the pistils or the organs of the flower. Inspiration comes basically from nature. And another way to go is just to make this stick, and instead of making the whole black, thing is just a circle, tiny circle. But if you feel with the, sorry, it's my cat moving the camera. So with the black color pencil, it's a little bit difficult to move. You have to make a stronger mark. So let's do the second detail. It's gonna be like a seashell or spiral to the right, and then you go with the spiral, go down with a V as Victor, then you finish on the other side, and then in the middle to make a pistol. This doesn't mean much. It doesn't have a meaning. It's just something that I thought it was could be cool. And these are also tiny spirals. For example, I'm gonna, if this one is a little bit to the left, so I turn to the right. Now I'm gonna make the one that is on the right, and I started making the spiral to the left. This would be like my advice. Let's repeat this. I'm gonna make the one to the left. So I start making the spiral to the right. And this spiral is gonna be more to the right. So I start drawing the spiral to the left, from the left to the center. Well, it's a little bit tough. You have to really press a lot. Now we'll use this Stabilo marker. It's a very tiny, the point is very tiny. And let's try to repeat. It's easier. It goes much easier. And of course, we have to consider that we are making this practice on a white paper. It's going to be a little bit different when we do this on the mandala that has been colored with crayons. So, okay, but so far I love this. I love how it moves easily. So this is a V, and then we go up and make another spiral, and in the center just one pistol. I think it looks like, I don't know, we can make it smaller also. I think like a tulip with a pistol in the center. So now I am making with the Sharpie the super big pistols. You can see it's too big for the area we're gonna be working on. The area is small, so I think these details are better with the super thin marker. But of course, if you're working on a big mandala, maybe on a bigger paper, so you can use Sharpie. I just wanted to show you how it is. And well, these are just again the spirals, just to practice, just to for you to have a look at the different materials we can work on. And well, now I'm using the regular pen, just a regular pen to see how it feels. Nothing fancy, but just to, and I think it's important you repeat this exercise just to see which marker or pen or pencil or crayon you feel more comfortable with. Well, now it's like this flower with just one pistol. And then these spirals, remembering the detail that if it's to the right, then you make the spiral to the left, and if you're making the right one, you go to the right. So these are also other traces that you can, sketches that you can try. I'm just gonna make this one with the Stabilo, which is the marker that I like most. And this is just like it's like a spiral like this, but it's two spirals to the left and two to the right. See? So these two grow to the left, and these two that I'm going to make are to the right, like this. And this is like a heart shaped spiral, and these are just straight lines, the diagonal lines that are important also to practice. So, well, this is to avoid doing this, try to make straight lines. So this is the practice, and let's go to the mandala to work on it. So now we're gonna start with the center, and I'm just going to start making a fine line in the border of each petal in the center, just like this. And once we're done, let's work on the pistils. The air is small, so it's gonna be like a pistil in the center and two on each side. And enjoy this moment because this is really special. If you feel that it's not working well with a pen, just pick up a piece of paper, do some sketches like this, some lines to get rid of some of the excess of the crayon, and keep on working in your mandala as we're doing right now. And now I want to work with one of the markers, the thin markers, and well, Stabilo would be fine. And I'm just going to make a fine line to enhance, to reinforce the center circle. And this is how it looks. You can also use another marker of a color you like, purple or so. Now I'm going to start fine lining the petals, the second set of red petals like this, just going from the bottom to the top and then going down again. And now we're going to mark, I'm going to continue working with Stabilo because I'm liking very much how it's going. Let's make a detail on these triangles, just simple lines like this, straight lines that can go in any direction you like. Again, this is a proposal. If you feel like making another detail, feel free to do so. And for the petals, let's make just like another petal inside. It's very simple. And now that we're done, what about making this pistil, this type of pistils? And now let's make a detail. We make a circle. You can, if you have a green, you can use green, of course. But in this case, I'm just going to make a fine line here, just to have this circle done. And after we're done, I don't know, I had the idea of making this circle look like a lemon. We can make a drop just like this. And if you like, you can take a dark green and just make, remark these let's say drops, so that the green circle will look like a lemon or so. And now I think I'm gonna go with this is very good. I like Stabilo. If you like, you can keep working on it. But for these petals, that blue violet petals, I'm gonna go with Sharpie. And now that we are done with this line, what about making a detail that we practiced in the sheets here? We can make, you can decide if you want to, well, I'm going with the fine line with Stabilo. We make like a V. I think it's easier, and then the pistol in the middle. I think it's easier if we draw like a V, like this, and then we make the spirals on each side, and then the pistol. So let's keep going. Now for the stars, the one on top and the one below, I'm gonna go with Sharpie. I'm gonna keep it thicker, and then I make a round and go down. There's a tiny peak here right in the middle. Then I go up. Don't worry if you cannot make just, from one point to the other without stopping. Just make the line in your, at your own pace. Don't feel pressured because I go down. I practice this all the time. If you're a beginner, it's fine to go and stop and do it slowly. It's completely cool. The important thing is that you do practice. So we connect these two parts together, and then we're going to reinforce that line in the middle. Actually, I'm going to connect these lines right away, just like this. I don't know about you, but I like the smell of the markers. It's really nice. Okay, just like that, just right in the middle. And then we have finalized the start on top. Now we're going to do the same for the legs of the star that are backwards. just like this. It's so nice to do this. I think the black color enhances somehow all these drawings with the crayons. So enjoy the view. And now I'm gonna go back with Stabilo. Let's start with the details on the four legs. I think I'm gonna make a heart here because I think to have confidence, we have to feel love. And then from the same root of the heart, we can have these spirals. To me, it's like flourishing, something that will flourish. You plant a seed, and the first thing you will see is just these tiny, teeny tiny, or very thin leaves. So this is kind of the sensation that I have when I'm working on this detail. So let's keep working. First, I'm gonna be working on the four legs of the star that is on top, and then on the other legs of the star that is below. Enjoy. Now for the lotuses, I'm just going to fine line all the petals. And it's important to keep in mind that for example, the orange petals are partially yellow and the red petals are partially orange. Then we can make some pistils like this, like the ones in the flower in the center. And then we can have other spirals. And still I'm working with this fine marker. So let's continue with this left the other 7 uh, lotuses that we have left. And I think now we can just make the fine line of the Indian, my Indian window. um, I'm gonna keep working with Sharpie. As you can see, we can keep going. Now, just as an example, I'm taking one of the Stadler um, fine markers and just making the fine line of this big petal, big flower that is underneath it all. And yeah, I like to have these lines. This is an idea. You can just do the fine line of the tip of the petals, but I want to have these lines too. Let's keep going. Well, our mandala is almost ready. Uh, and right after we finish the painting, I have a message for you about how to use this mandala once it's done. But I hope you have enjoyed um, all this painting together, that you have learned something new. Remember that I am available. Leave your messages, leave your questions in all my social media. I am extremely happy with the results. I hope you have enjoyed too. And well, vibrate with the mandala. Be safe, feel confidence, and enjoy. Repeat it if you need to do so with other colors, and don't stop practicing. Well, this is the final step. Just don't put this mandala away. Don't keep it in a drawer. Frame it and keep it somewhere it's visible to you. The vibrant colors empower you and energizes you whenever you feel down or blue. I'm preparing a very nice surprise that you will be aware of soon, in a few weeks. So this is not goodbye, it's bye for now, but we will be in touch soon. Let me know if you have any queries or questions about this mandala. Your feedbacks are necessary. I'm available, just drop a message, send me a WhatsApp message. I'll be more than happy to answer to your questions or to hear from you about your thoughts. Thank you very much, and we'll see each other soon.